Well, hello there. It's been a long, long time. Fancy seeing you here on a Wednesday evening, afternoon. How is everybody? I hope you've been looking forward to this bonus live stream, an extra added on bonus to a Sunday live stream. I can see Chris, I can see Granny M, Marie's the name. Hello, Helen Murray. Hi, Brian. Yes, well, I hope it is a nice surprise. I was just working away on a few. Patrick Lyons, hello from Dublin City, just up the road from me. I was working on a few Elvis things this afternoon, and I got the urge to do a live stream this afternoon, and I was kind of casting around for a topic, and lo and behold, I thought, why not do something on the new 3 CD box set that is due for release very, very soon. In fact, it's on pre-order as far as I know. I was looking on a few sites today, so I just thought I would kind of just run through it and see what everybody thinks. Now, there was a 2 CD box set, His Hand in Mine, but this is a 3 CD box set. And basically what you get is you get the original 12-track album on the CD number 1, plus the 2 extras extra tracks that were recorded at the recording session. You get Crying in the Chapel and Surrender. Well, obviously, Surrender wasn't classified as a gospel or religious song. And Crying in the Chapel, Elvis and the guys weren't happy with the results of Crying in the Chapel, so it was shelved until 1965, believe it or not. It was 5 years before it was released. So, basically, the His Hand in Mine sessions took place on Sunday, October the 30th. They began at 6:30 p.m. in the evening. Now, Elvis and the guys had travelled up to Nashville Studio B in a rented, hired out, whatever you want to call it, Greyhound bus. The colonel decided that they could go by road. They didn't want to fly. Elvis actually turned up with a bandaged hand because a few days prior to the recording session, he'd broken a bone in his hand playing touch football. So, but he was in good spirits. And there's a photograph taken of him outside Studio B with fans, and you can see the Greyhound bus behind him, and you can also see the bandage holding his fingers together. So, as I said, Studio B. Sunday, October 30th at 6:30 p.m. They kicked off with... I'm also going to tell you, after we run through what the CD box set gives you, I'm going to actually tell you what my favourite song is from the 14 tracks that Elvis and the Jordanaires and Millie Kirkham and so forth recorded. Okay? See if you can guess out of the 14 tracks. If you want to leave a comment in the comment section and see who gets it right, just for a bit of fun. Okay, so it's a 1 in 14 chance, or a 1 in 13 chance, I suppose. Well, it can't be Surrender, so that knocks it down to 13. Can't be Crying in the Chapel either, because again, well, I suppose it could be Crying in the Chapel or Surrender, because I did actually say of the 14 tracks that they recorded that night. Okay, so yeah, they started at about 6:30 p.m. And they started with Milky White Way. Okay, so on the CD2, that's the very, very first track, and basically you've got 1 to 3 takes, 4 to 5, and 6 and 7, 7 being the master. Then you've got his hand in mine, take 1, take 4, take 5. His hand in mine, take 5 and 4 being the master. I believe in the man in the sky. Oh, and what I should have said before I started telling you what you get is they are actually on the CDs as they were recorded. So chronologically, this is the way they were recorded. Milky White Way, as I said, his hand in mine. I believe in the man in the sky. He knows just what I need. 9 takes of that. 10 was the master. Surrender, take 1 and 2. 3 and 4 was a splice for the master. 8 and 9 actually, and then there was a work part of surrender as well, just the end, because he was wondering how he could hit that high note at the end of surrender. If you actually listen to a couple of the early takes of surrender, he doesn't hit the high note. So that's what you get in the CD2. CD3 kicks off with CD3 kicks off with Mansion Over the Hilltop. Takes 1, takes 2 and 3, and for the master they spliced 2 and 3 together. In My Father's House Are Many Mansions, they did 8 takes of those, and they also did a work part, just one little take of a work part. And then what they did was they spliced the final take 8 and work part 1 as the master. Joshua Fit the Battle came next, okay, and they did, let's see now, 4 takes of that, and they used take 4 as the master. Swing Down Sweet Chariot, 4 takes, and obviously take 4 being the master. I'm going to Walk Them Golden Stairs. Looks like 5 takes of that, and they used the first take as a master. So they went right back to the beginning and said, we got it right the first time. Okay, then let's see. If We Ever Meet Again, take 1 was the master. So they rattled that off one fairly quick. Known Only to Him, 5 being the master. Crying in the Chapel. Now, Crying in the Chapel, they did 1, 2, 3. They did 3 takes of it. And yeah, this would all point to them not being happy with 3 takes, because when it was eventually released in 1965, they spliced 2 and 3 together to give you the master. And finally, at the end of the day, just as the sun was coming up at 8 a.m. on October the 31st, which was a Monday, they did 5 quick takes of Working on the Building, and the 5th take was the master. Okay, so what does everybody think about that? That's just about every complete take that's in the can for those sessions. So I'm not quite sure if anybody can actually tell me how much this set is going for, because one thing I actually neglected to do was I looked to see how much they were asking for this CD set, 3 CDs. I think I remember somebody saying a couple of weeks ago that it's about 70 or 80 euro dollars, something like that. Now the only thing I would say about that is a lot of this material is already available. There might be just 1 or 2 takes in amongst there that I've just run through very quickly that haven't already been released down the years. So I'm just wondering, is anybody actually going to invest in that box set? Nancy says she thinks it's about $60. Okay, so that's about $20 per CD. Okay. Now, as you can see on screen just below me there, you get a nice little gatefold sleeve, and you get 3 different colored CDs. Yeah, David Felton, hi David, says £60 on eBay. Okay, I mean, people are saying now it's $60, £60. Would you invest in buying that, or would you be happy that we've just about heard just everything anyway on that set? I must admit, I would be tempted, but out of the two, if I could only buy one, yeah, well, Lee says, are these all unheard takes? No, they're not really, because these takes that I've just kind of listed out for you have been available in other formats, for quite a while. So is anybody going to invest that? And what I was going to say was, if I could only buy one, which is this 3-disc set or the From Elvis in Nashville box set that came out a couple of months ago, I would buy the From Elvis in Nashville box set, and I have already done that. But that's my point. The point I'm trying to make is, yeah, if I could only buy one of them, I would buy the From Elvis in Nashville. TCB since 73 says too expensive. I paid £60 for the FTD vinyl version. Yeah. Got Elvis in Nashville CD set. I would recommend it. So would I, Robert. I got it. It was like having your ears cleaned out. It really was. I couldn't believe what we hadn't heard for all these years. Helen says about she likes CD, but she prefers vinyl. Vinyl is a warmer sound, definitely. It's not a digital sound. Digital can be quite kind of nearly too perfect. Yeah, well, that's another thing. Brian says, what happens normally with a disc like this or a set like this is after a couple of weeks, it's posted online anyway. I would imagine they are remastered. Yes, they'll be cleaned up and they'll sound as good as we've ever heard them, I would imagine. Hi, Paul. Welcome to the live feed, the live stream, a bonus live one this week. I will be doing my fan of the month quiz on Sunday, and also I'll also have a guest on called Lee Wood, who is actually going to talk about this sort of material, Elvis's gospel songs and religious albums. He's a preacher. He lives in the UK. And he wants to come on and talk about Elvis's influence and the influence of gospel music over Elvis. So he'll be joining me on Sunday, and I hope you can join me on Sunday as well for that. Hi, Rob. How are you doing? It would be quite interesting, I think, to get a sort of a preacher's opinion on Elvis and the music and how religious that Elvis was. We all know that Elvis was very religious. I also have a big interview scheduled for tomorrow, for recording tomorrow, and I can tell you if that all works out well, which I'm sure it will, but if it all works out well, I'm going to tell you on Sunday who it is. Scott, how often am I live? I'm normally live only once a week on a Sunday, about this time, roughly this time. It's normally half an hour earlier. But as I was saying at the start of this video, I got this urge to talk about Elvis and to talk to Elvis fans. I just thought, why not? And why not talk about this new live? It's not a live album. This new 3 CD box set that's due for release in the next day or two, and it is actually available on pre-order. And I was wondering what people thought of it and would they buy it. Like I said, if I could only buy either From Elvis in Memphis or this box set, I would buy the From Elvis in Memphis. Okay. Jose Carlos says, congratulations on the channel. Thank you very much. All the way from Brazil. I don't know, Robert. It depends how I feel. Sundays is the definite nailed on every Sunday, unless I'm on holiday. But if people show an interest in Wednesdays as well, and it suits them, then I could end up doing one on a Wednesday and one on a Sunday. I don't mind. You know me. I could talk about Elvis 24/7 anyway. That's right. I should be careful at my age getting urges. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Did Elvis pick the songs for the sessions? I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah. I would imagine that when it came to the religious album, it was him and him only. I know he was forced into the songs for the movies. Uh, oh, Chris, she says it's Graceland tomorrow. Now, Chris is doing a virtual tour of Graceland, and she's promised to let me know exactly how it went, and then I can tell everybody here on the live stream what she thought of it and how it went. And do you remember a couple of weeks ago I was saying, do you think this might be a dry run or a test run for these virtual tours? Now, a dry run for the doing one upstairs, a virtual tour of upstairs. Would that ever come off, I wonder? Who knows? Who knows? Where can you get this set from? Just about anywhere, I believe. If you just feed it into Google, Elvis, His Hand in Mine sessions. Make sure you go 3 CD though, because there is a 2 CD as well. It'll come up. It'll come up, and you can pre-order it. I think you can pre-order it on if you're in the UK, you can pre-order it from the fan club. If you're in America, I'm sure you can order it Graceland or a lot of places. Chris says she's going to be letting me know about the virtual tour. Have I been to Graceland? Yes, I have, and it was brilliant. One of the biggest moments of my life. Yeah. Okay, yeah, you have 3 days, yes, because I think after you go through it the first time, you can save it and it saves for 3 days, but then I think it goes, doesn't it? If anybody could think of a way of saving the file, it would be handy, wouldn't it? You could then forward it on to me and I could I could upload it on my YouTube. But the thing is probably Graceland would block it, I would imagine. Lee, I don't have a favourite era, actually. Every time I think it's the 50s, I then see something in the 60s, and I see the 60s, and I think, God, he was great in the 60s. And then I see something in the 70s, and I think, God, he was great in the 70s. So my favourite era of Elvis is 1935 to 2021. Rob says that there's an Amazon That's the Way It Is rehearsal CD up for pre-order. Yeah, I saw that as well. Yeah. No, Jill, it's not the quiz. No, I'm not doing a quiz tonight. I save that for Sundays. I was working on some quiz questions today, and I decided that the first week in March, which I think is a 7th, I think it's Sunday the 7th, something like that, I'm going to do a theme quiz. So the quiz questions is going to be all on one theme. Okay. So it's something to look forward to. I don't really have a favourite of his rings, no. Yep, that's for sure, Bernadette. You got that right. Yeah, he will always be the best. Credit card on meltdown. I know, yeah. So just to recap, don't worry. I'm going to tell you what my favorite song is out of these sessions. So the first CD, you get the original 12-track album, plus 2 bonus songs, "Crying in the Chapel" and "Surrender." And then you get on CD 2 and CD 3, you get every song that was recorded at the session, October 30th to October 31st. It began at 6:30 in the evening and went on until 8 a.m. the following morning, Monday morning. 14 masters were completed, and on disc 2 and 3, they're actually in chronological order. So in other words, exactly the way they were recorded. And every completed take that was done in those, let's see, 10 hours. Yeah, about 10 hours, 11 and a half hours. So, and as I said, it's a nice set, but if I could only buy one, I would buy the Elvis from Nashville at the moment. Of course, I could definitely get tempted and buy this one as well. Now that's a good question. Did Elvis ever do Surrender? I think he did. He did a kind of a half version of it. When somebody, do you remember? Does anybody remember the he went to a stage where he asked people to put requests in a champagne bucket, and he'd pick them out and he'd try and sing them. And there was Return to Sender and Wooden Heart and all those ones you wouldn't hear very often. Telly Nikon says a signed copy of Diane Goodman's book. Yes, I actually interviewed Diane a few weeks ago. Lovely lady. Robert says I'm more 70s Elvis. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it was like on Sunday when we were discussing Kentucky Rain and all those other ones. Every time you think you've got your favorite Elvis song, the next day another Elvis song comes on, and you realize that no, maybe that's not your favorite. This one's your favorite, and then the next day. So it's difficult. It's like what is Elvis? What's your favorite Elvis film? And you think maybe, well, it's King Creole, and then you see Jailhouse Rock, and you think, well, maybe Jailhouse Rock has the edge. And that's part of being an Elvis fan is it's just you can't sort of tie yourself down just to one song or one film or anything like that or one concert. A lot of people say Aloha was the best concert, but what about Madison Square Garden? Madison Square Garden was a phenomenal concert, absolutely phenomenal set of concerts. And of course, he only did two. He holds one's finger up. He only did two Alohas. He did the rehearsal and then he did the broadcast. But he did four of the Madison Square Garden concerts. Yeah, my favorite changes every day is right. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Bottom right hand corner of the screen, you'll see a little red badge, and if you click on that, you can subscribe to this channel. It does help. And also click the little bell as well, so it's you're notified. That actually makes sense, Jill. Yeah, I've got 100 songs in my top 10. There's a place. I forgot about that as well. Yeah, there's a place across from Graceland where you can have your photographs taken with his rings, wearing his rings. I'm surprised they actually let you touch the rings, though. That's the only thing. Maybe are they the actual genuine ones? Yeah, don't forget to hit the like as well. Like, subscribe, and share. Yeah. I remember across the road from Graceland, you could also have your photograph taken, and it looked like you were standing in front of the music gates just before you got on the shuttle bus as well. So a lot of people will have got a picture like that. And of course, I've got photographs taken of me in front of the actual music gates as well. But this was before the days of digital photography, so they're actually prints. So I don't know where those prints are, somewhere. Oh yeah, I was going to say the theme for the 7th of March is it's not Name That Tune, it's Complete the Lyrics. So I will read out a line from an Elvis song, and then you've got to tell me what the next line is. But that's going to be the theme for the whole of the quiz on the 7th. I think it's the 7th, isn't it? I think it is. Yeah, pretty sure it is. Yes, Chris is asking, would it be his proper rings? I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure whether it would be. Maybe it was. Did you have to wear like the white gloves? Then, of course, if you wore the white gloves, the rings wouldn't go on your fingers. Change of Habit. Change of Habit is actually a good film, actually. And of course, Elvis looked absolutely fantastic in Change of Habit. Yeah, I'd say Graceland was very different just after he passed away. I remember seeing the shots of Vernon taken for the CBS television special, and also, you know, that was the shots that were taken in June '77, and then there was more footage taken in September, October time of him giving his special message, and it was very different to what it is now. Very, very different. Yeah. For anybody that wanted to know what my favorite song was from the His Hand in Mine sessions, was, believe it or not, the very, very first thing they committed to tape, Milky White Way. Now, I saw a few people saying Milky White Way. So anybody that said that, they got it right. Yeah, I do. Out of all the 14 masters that were completed that recording session, I absolutely adore Milky White Way. Yeah, Danny, I think you said Milky White Way, yeah. So, to recap, if you can join me on Sunday, I have a preacher as a special guest coming in to talk about Elvis's influence on religious music and the influence that it had on him as well. So that should be interesting, of course, and we'll have the quiz as well. If there's anything else anybody'd like to say or ask me, let's have a look. Steve got to say I like Charo. Yeah, Charo. Yeah, yeah. Charo was okay. Didn't sing. Only sang a song over the opening credits. There was another song he recorded for it, but it was cut. Let's Forget About the Stars. Was it? Yeah, Ruth Daniel sent me the photographs today, about half an hour ago actually, of the prize that she won for January Fan of the Month. And she also found the print that Arkansas Dave had put behind the disc. See you on Sunday and hopefully beat Chelsea. Yay, hopefully. One movie that no one talks about is Wild in the Country. Yeah, it's very, very, it's not often mentioned. It's not often mentioned. Hello, Scotty. Who's Scotty? Scotty Moore. Let's have a look. Who is Scotty? Did I miss somebody called Scotty? Maybe I didn't. Maybe they're calling me Scotty. Charo was brilliant. Again, showed how he could act. Yes, that's true. No gloves. I had no people to believe they were fake. Oh, I had no reason probably to believe they were fake. I was shown a photo of him wearing at least one of them. Yeah. Lee, I'm based in Ireland. Yeah. Originally from England, moved over to Ireland. Loving You, yeah, his first colour film. Yep. Yeah. Well, you see, Wild in the Country didn't make enough money, unfortunately. New Celtic manager. Who is it, I wonder? Wild in the Country didn't make enough money. Flaming Star probably didn't make enough money either. So, that's probably the reason why they went away from that sort of genre, if you like. Yeah, I mean, Blue Hawaii kind of Blue Hawaii sealed Elvis's fate because Blue Hawaii actually sold better and sold more than Elvis is Back. So that sort of proved to the Colonel that was the way they needed to go. Beach movies and Racing Driver and that sort of thing. So that's the way. Somebody that could sing 12 songs to. Yeah, Helen says Scotty has a YouTube channel and reviews Elvis's music and films. Yes, I think I've seen that one. Yeah, good channel. Yeah, so we all know, if you didn't know that before, you know now why that was the course that they took. The beach movies and the racing car movies and so forth is because, as far as the Colonel was concerned, the material on Elvis's Back wasn't as saleable as 12 or 14 songs, Hawaiian songs. My thoughts on Tickle Me? Yeah, not one of his best. Certainly wasn't his worst. I think probably Hear 'Em, Scare 'Em or Paradise Hawaiian Style would be his weakest two films. And maybe Easy Come, Easy Go as well. Got to be honest. John, thanks very much. He's a postman and listens to it on his round. That's great. Yeah. As I said, hopefully tomorrow I will be interviewing a very, very important person in Elvis's life. And if everything goes to plan and it all works out well, I will tell you on Sunday who it is just before I post it. Because what I'll probably do is tell you on Sunday and post it on Monday. But I'll keep you on tenterhooks till Sunday. Tickle Me, terrible. Yeah, that's the one where he didn't even he didn't even record any new songs for it because United Artists didn't have the money to pay for the recording sessions. And they also did it at a cut price rate for them as well to save the studio. I think Tom and Elvis only asked for 750,000 instead of $1 million, something like that. And it did actually save United Artists. It saved their bacon for a while anyway. Because one of the songs he sings is Dirty, Dirty Feeling, which is kind of like 5 years old. It was done at the Elvis's Back sessions. So... Chris says, love Blue Hawaii. Blue Hawaii is a great movie. Great movie, yeah. The standard was still very, very high then. There's parts of GI Blues as well, which I like. I'm particularly fond of the sequence in the cable cars, simply because one of my favourite movie songs of all time, Pocket Full of Rainbows, is sung then. All right. Bernadette says she's never seen Easy Come, Easy Go. Okay. Girl Happy better than people rate. Well, actually, Girl Happy is quite funny in places. It shows Elvis's flair for comedy, as does Follow That Dream. Thanks, Chris. Our pencils and pens are calling. Hopefully, I hope she doesn't mind me telling you this, but she is doing a drawing for me for February's Fan of the Month prize. I don't know why Bob Lanning was fired, but now you've asked that question, Retro B3, I'm gonna maybe research it and see if I've got an answer for you on Sunday. I suppose the reason why he re-recorded it is because the studio asked him to. They didn't want to use a 1956 recording on a 1960 film, but then again, look what they did with Dirty Dirty Feeling. So I don't know. Pocket Full of Rainbows in Ireland, anyway, it was used for the lotto, the national lottery, and they are now using and have been using it for about the last 3 years. And I hope they don't scrap it. They've used "If I Can Dream" from the 1968 NBC Singer Special. So every time an advert for the lottery comes on, you can hear Elvis singing "If I Can Dream." Could be copyrights, David, yeah. Well, I don't quite agree there, Robert, that Blue Hawaii started the bad run of movies, because there was a good there were some good movies between Blue Hawaii and then Kissing Cousins. Kissing Cousins was probably the first of the quickie movies, that the rush job, that just let's do it on a budget, get the money and get out. So Viva Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas was made in 1964. However, well, it was released in 1964. It was a good movie. I know some people say they don't like Viva Las Vegas, but I like it. I think there was great chemistry between Elvis and Anne Margaret. Right, Chris is saying that the drawing is from the 1950s, so that's great. Now, Scotty, Elvis plays his music channel. Hi, Steve. I'm Scotty. Enjoying your chat for sure. This set will be epic. Did he sound better than at those sessions? Well, no. It's very, very hard to find a session where he did sound better. Of course, people will say, well, the American Sound Studios and all this and all that. But certainly for early 1960s, October 1960, he sounded great. And you probably heard me say it, Scotty, but for me, the outstanding track out of the 14 masters that were recorded, Milky White Way. And I actually think that some of the takes that weren't used are fabulous. Some really, really good takes of Milky White Way. They were trying to get the backing and phrasing and everything right, as far as I remember. Flaming Star showed great potential. Yes, it did, as did King Creole. Kissing Cousins is very risque. I suppose it is, yeah. Tickle Me was extremely risque for the time. Very, very. Some of the shots when Elvis stumbles across the girls doing exercises. We'll say no more about that. Yeah, I mean, nearly every film that Elvis made, sort of in the 60s, has some endearing qualities. Yeah. David Felton, yeah. Also, they shot him on the horse singing Britches as well, but they cut it out. So that exists somewhere, I believe. Flaming Star. Yeah, I think Anne Margaret was originally from Sweden, wasn't she? Yeah. I know something. My glasses need cleaning. I've just noticed that. I believe in the man in the sky from those sessions. Yep. You're right, John. Yeah, Kane and a high starch collar isn't great. Flaming Star, actually, the actual title track is quite good. It's got pathos in it. Of course, a lot of us will know that it was originally Black Star, and he recorded a version of Black Star, and then they went in later and re-recorded it as Flaming Star. Foggy Sweden. Run On was the How Great Thou Art sessions, so that would have been 1966. Charles Stone was actually a great interview. If you haven't heard that interview I did with Charles Stone, if you want to look it up on this channel, it was enlightening. And as somebody said to me today, they learned things that they didn't know about from listening to Charles. Loretta, he sang Old MacDonald in Double Trouble. But even though he had to sing Old MacDonald in that film, there's parts of that film that I think were quite funny. So I've got a soft spot for Double Trouble. Yeah, Marie's name says hi from foggy Stockholm. It hasn't been too bad here today actually, but when I went for a walk this afternoon to get a breath of fresh air, it started raining. Yeah, without Elvis, those movies would have sunk like a stone. But the fact that Elvis was actually in them kind of raised them to a higher level. My favorite song from the "How Great Thou Art" sessions is "Stand by Me." I might ask Charles to come back. Yeah, yeah. If he wants to tell us a few more stories, I might. As I say, I have a very big interview tomorrow. If it all goes well, I'll tell you about that on Sunday. Yes, that's right. Black Star was called was the title of David Bowie's last album. I often think that as well. There's a bit of a coincidence there. Somebody Bigger Than You and I. Yes, another great song from the '66 sessions. Ooh, who was his best leading lady? Uh, ooh, hard to say. There were so many of them. Shelley Fabares was good. It was another good one. Obviously, Anne Margaret. I've actually contacted Shelley, asking her if she'd like to talk to me, but unfortunately, no, nothing yet. Yeah, it was interesting that Charles said that it wasn't the Colonel's decision to not tour overseas. Hi, there's Mark, late to the show. Hi, Mark. We've been talking about the new 3 CD box set, His Hand in Mine sessions. Um, Stay Away Joe was not good. Lou Dane, Anne Margaret. A lot of people are going to say Anne Margaret. Uh, yeah, I Got Lucky from Kid Galahad, another good song. Judy Tyler was a lovely, lovely leading lady. Jailhouse Rock. But of course, we all know what happened to poor Judy just after the film wrapped. Not great. Yeah. For anybody that's just coming in, no, Tony Shelley is still alive, unless she's only just passed away. But no, she was alive and kicking a few weeks ago. Anyway. Yeah. For anybody that wants to know details of Sunday, obviously we're going to have the uh, fan of the month quiz, but I'm also going to be talking to a preacher who wants to discuss Elvis's religious recordings and his influence on religious music and so forth, and religious music on Elvis as well. Yes, very sad about Judy. Yeah, I honestly believe that without Tom Parker, Elvis would have been as big as he was. Just my opinion. Yeah, I mean, I've often said that Colonel Parker was good for Elvis at the beginning, but he kind of lost his way in the '60s. Maybe, I don't know. But then again, don't forget what Charles said. Um, some of the movies that Elvis made, they made him so much money afterwards, just from reruns. They could make him hundreds of thousands of dollars before Elvis even got out of bed that morning, if the reruns were being paid for. Hi Anna, how are you doing? Jor says that Kid Galahad, yeah, Kid Galahad is a good movie. Yeah, well, TCB since '73. Charles said exactly the same thing. He said that um, Wembley Stadium had been booked for the fall of 1977. It's amazing when you think that Crying in the Chapel was released in 1965, 5 years after he recorded it. It just goes to show that there wasn't that much non-movie recordings in the can. Yeah, I often wonder, what Elvis would have been like on a talk show. I mean, we've got glimpses of what he'd be like when he say, for instance, at the Madison Square Garden uh, press conference. You can nearly see what he would have been like on a talk show. Very witty, very charismatic, extremely handsome, of course. Michelle Carey was another stunner, yes, in Live a Little, Love a Lot. Live a Little, Love a Little. Or as Elvis used to call it, Live a Little, Love a Lot. That was Elvis. Right, so if everybody is happy with what we've covered tonight, I'll see you on Sunday, hopefully, fingers crossed, that you can join me for Lee Wood, who's going to discuss Elvis's religious albums, religious recordings, and so forth. And you can join me for the next round of February's Fan of the Month. Yeah, just think if he'd have actually lived long enough to write a book, because we're never 100% sure whether we're hearing the full truth. You can get an idea though of who's kind of telling the truth and who isn't. But the ultimate thing would have been for Elvis to have written a book, and I'm sure he would have. He definitely would have. Maybe that was coming after the world tour. Maybe 77 or 79, he would have written maybe a retort to, Elvis, what happened? Lee Ash, no, yeah, that's great, no problem. I'll see you on Sunday, hopefully, Lee. I'll be there for Sunday. That's great, Rob. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this extra bonus this week. If I feel that urge again, I know I shouldn't at my age get an urge. But if I do get an urge next Tuesday or Wednesday, then I could well end up wittering on to you again. So until then, look after yourselves. And thanks for joining me. Thank you very much.